We've already started laughing. We haven't even started yet. Hello, hello, hello. This is Kimberly and Miranda with the Tipsy Mystics. We are recording this episode live on YouTube because
we haven't in a while.
Because we haven't in a while because
And
we need to
we know
leave
you
our
guys
mark.
missed us.
Right?
Pretty sure.
We need to leave our mark in the annals of time. So, Miranda, what are you drinking? I had to say that.
So, because we're having a spicy show, I have a pineapple chili hard kombucha.
Kombucha, big surprise. Wait.
With some raw ginger, because we're also raw. Raw and spicy. I think that's what we called it.
Raw and spicy, yes. So, today...
How about you? What are you drinking?
No, see, here I have... let's see if I can hold it up to the camera. Oh, my goodness. This is not so easy. Spatial skills, Kimberly. The star mug. Okay, it's not a mug. It's a...
Glass.
My star glass. It does have white claw in it. Mango. I'm being,
Ooh.
I'm being a little exotic today. So, I did take a giant hit of Jack Herrera, and Jack Herrera is like the creative fun starter. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to actually be drinking of that White Claw, so I do have water. Anyway, we're talking today about no human rules.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about what that means. I had my guide Flora, who I channel often. She just screams it in your ear when you're like taking a shower. She's like, no more human rules. I'm like, what? No more human rules. So, you sit there and you're drying your hair or whatever, and you think about, what the hell does that mean? And she said, anything with the should. Oh,
Or
right.
a could, or a would, or
Supposed to.
Supposed to.
Right? And so I'm like, wait a minute, that's everything. It's pretty much everything.
Pretty
It's
much
just like-
anything with a past, yeah.
Yeah. So the no more human rules part for us, we are, I don't know, I can't speak for you, but for me, I'm walking around on a 5D plane all the time now. And the people are different. They're totally different. They're nice. And they speak to you on a different level. I'm going, she's on a roller coaster here, because they want us to go around in a little bit of a circle to come back. So the people on 5D, very, very sweet people, very kind people, but sometimes you just, you forget that they're there to help you and there's lessons involved. And so the 3D you may be talking to this person at a 5D level. And so when you're wavering in between the I'm human and I'm supposed to follow rules, and 5D, I don't have any limits, you have to, you kind of start learning, okay, I'm going to have to speak to every single person that I meet at the same level, at the highest level that I can. And I know, Miranda, you already do that.
Yeah.
Bitch. I had to learn the hard way. You just come on in.
But it was hard when I was younger, because other people don't get it, right? They get triggered by that, and they get offended, and they're like, why are you saying that to me? And it's like, what do you mean, why am I saying that? It just came out. You know what I mean? I didn't realize anything was wrong just because they read it on a 3D level and I read it on a 5D level, which is far more objective and less attached to, some sort of horrific event in a past or a past life or whatever you want to call it. So it was hard, and now it's easy as, the rest of the outside world is kind of catching up to me I feel better about myself, and I feel more comfortable just allowing things to come through, as opposed to putting, myself in like a little turtle shell.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely had the benefit versus the old timers like me, and I'm going through a theme of the old timers and old fashioned and unwilling to change because you're a certain age and all of that stuff, right? The boomers.
Okay, boomer.
Exactly. And so I'm going through that theme right now, and I'm like, that is such old energy and old shit. It's like you just kind of want to take a shower and get it off you. But it still comes up every once in a while because it's everywhere, right? And you got it a little bit easier because you didn't have as much of a negative suffering past.
Yeah.
600 or whatever, right?
Right. I mean, I chose not to come in with those attachments. Right?
So you just get to design houses and then buy them 170 years later and hang around like a freaking sunshine fairy, while the rest of us, although those listening, she does clear for the collective. I will add that in.
Oh my God. Speaking of.
So thank you.
All the energy that's coming in right now, I'm like a freaking balloon. I just blow up.
You mean like what was the girl with the blueberries?
Oh,
Violet.
You're Violet. Beauregard, yeah.
Okay, so her like that?
Yeah, I just
or
blow up.
Or the Michelin Man, or?
Absolutely. Water weight gas, like, I am a whale. And yeah, so I just like take on, whether it's dense energy or higher energy, like I really like physically can tell when that's coming through me, if that makes sense. So I've chosen to see it and feel it and not really be able to avoid it. I know there's empaths who realize they're empaths their whole life. And they will, since they know that, they will close themselves off from it because they're conscious of it. I have an empath who was never aware that I was an empath. I didn't know they weren't my feelings. I didn't know they weren't my experiences because I had to. Part of my job is to, transmute those energies for everyone else. So I had to let those through and let those come in my field and through the filter and whatever else. So, I mean, that's not easy. That's not easy.
And so just wanted to add, Sophie, thank you. We missed you too. We've been just recording audio, and hopefully we'll be back for more of that.
Been very secluded and grumpy.
Yeah, there's been a lot
all of winter.
There's been a lot of internal churning on my part anyway, a lot of things. Same. But now that I don't even call it healing anymore, and I'm almost at the point where I don't even call it rebalancing anymore. It's more like pew, pew, like it comes up and you're like, oh, okay, yep, thank you. Oh, that hurts. Ow. Or that was a shitty thing I did. Thank you. Sorry. Forgive me. Gone. So it's a lot sunnier over here on my plane.
You know when someone like grabs your hand and they hit you with it and you're like, what? And they're like, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? That's what it's like now.
It's exactly it. And the humor. Oh my gosh. So
everything's fucking hilarious.
It is hysterical. So I want to bring up something. I've been working with some guides and that sort of thing to redesign my past, parts of my past that are still icky, that have, little tendrils stuck in there that I can't get out. And they're like, all right, we're just gonna pull them up and zap them out. And I'm like, okay. And I'm waiting for something to happen, and nothing happens. I'm like, so what's going on? And then I just get the impulse to go check in my filing cabinet for something. I pull out a piece of paper that has, basically it's a bunch of papers for a business that I used to have. And we're talking maybe 7-8 years ago. And I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, do I still have this business? Because I don't really know. I'm like, I haven't even paid attention to this business. I actually forgot about it. And I'm going through my memory. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever closed this business down, if it's still active, if I owe like $8 million in taxes. I'm like, how can someone forget an entire business?
Really?
So, of course, I got to go look it up on public records. And you know, I did close it. But that was a really quick example I got of I could go either way with that piece of paper that I found, right? I could say, all right, now I'm done with this, and be done with it. And my entire past would have changed. That business was gone, right? Now, or I could have freaked out and said, holy shit, this thing's still alive. What am I going to do? Oh my God, I'm going to owe taxes, and then send myself off on that tangent. And what do you think would have shown up? Right?
Yeah, a big fat tax bill from Uncle Sam.
Exactly. So it was, you and I were talking earlier about renewing the past, and that's something that's come up on the energies a lot this March.
Yeah, I mean, today for me specifically, when I asked my team, for a message, they were like, just get rid of those attachments to the past and allow them to be something totally new. Like completely new, and do not try and define it. I mean, they were talking, do not try and define your future, and do not try and define your past either. Not defining the future is hard, but also a little easier. Like not defining something that to your ego mind is a fact, happened. When in our new reality, that's not true, right? Yeah. Our past only exists in the now. So they're like, allow things to come up that will show you a totally different past, right?
Exactly.
A different meaning from things in your past, because they are here for you to learn from and grow from now in this moment, right? That's what they've only ever been here for, is for you to use in this now moment, whatever now moment you're in. They can be something totally different than your ego mind thinks they were. So just be open to that and don't attach to things in the past, because I think for all of us, this is really going to be a big thing that comes up in the next few weeks that like knocks our socks off. And that will open up things for your future, right? Because what we create from the future is from this imagined past. So when we can start to remove those attachments and those limits that we've created from a past by, let's say,
human rules,
re-knowing it, right? Totally re-knowing the meaning from the past. Like, oh my God, this person never thought that about me, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's something that could come up and be like, I had no idea this person, was thinking that about me. So you might have someone from your past come up and tell you, oh man, I always, really liked you or had a crush on you or whatever, whatever it is, or like admired you, looked up to you, and you're going to be like, holy shit, I thought they hated me. I thought this, I thought they, were trying to like squash me and not let me shine.
They designed your whole life out of that assumption.
Exactly. And then any future that can come is totally like blasted open in that moment, right? To something really cool that you would never have thought about because you didn't allow yourself to feel worthy of that or whatever.
Yeah. Which brings me into the next subject, which is, I have a question for you. Which belief changed your life the most when you redesigned it?
Holy shit. I mean, that's a heavy one. I don't know if I'm going to say the most, right? Because that's weighted. But I think just looking back on experiences of anyone who I felt did me wrong, right? whatever it is, we're just going to use a generic example. They did me wrong and they made my life harder. Being able to look back and see that from a higher perspective with gratitude is like, oh my God, but I asked them to do that for me, right? I asked them to give me that experience so that I could be a stronger person, right? So that I could go on this path where I was independent.
Exactly.
And I didn't have to look to other people to tell me what to do or rely on them, right? That I could have strength and do that. So like to be able to look back on any hard experience where someone really pushed me to be responsible for myself in my surroundings and to look at the world, right? Because as a very young person, I had to start observing how the world worked so that I could take care of myself. And I was very resentful of that for most of my life. But now I can look back on that and be like, holy shit, I am so grateful that your life was hard and you felt weak so that I could learn to be strong, right? Like that's incredibly powerful.
It's a gift,
that person, I mean, certainly they learned from that as well as a soul, but like that they could put themselves in a position to feel weak so that I could feel strong.
Yeah.
Like that's, I mean, you can't, the amount of gratitude and love from that is mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's the key. I'm getting reminders over and over. We're all friends here. We're all friends here. We're all here to help out our friends, right? And when I ask myself the question that I just asked you, which belief changed your life the most when you redesigned it? My belief, I literally was able to change it in an instant. So there was no time delay between one belief and the antithesis of it. The belief was, I always believed that everybody else had their shit together more than I did.
Wow.
Right? Like everybody else is doing fine. Everybody's relationship is better. Everybody's kids behave better and all
Instagram perfect.
Exactly. And as soon as I sat down with that and I really thought about it, I thought about all the people in my past that I always looked up to. They had the best relationship. The best relationship in fact ended up in the most horrific divorce ever. Right? And
yeah, you don't know.
You just don't know. So I had made all these assumptions about people that they had more value than me for whatever reason, right? And they had it all together. When I sat down and thought about it, I'm like, yeah, that's actually not proven itself to me at all in my past. And when I found just a few of these positive pieces of evidence from my past, it was easy to just, just snap it by the neck in a good way. In a loving way.
Just decapitate it in the most loving way.
Right? And then all of a sudden I'm looking at everybody else. I'm like, they're just people like you are. They're just people. Yeah. And then everybody becomes equal. You're looking at them. Like we said earlier, you're looking at them and you're communicating with them at the same level. You're not looking down at them because they're younger or they're older or they're we're not even going to bring in racism, right? But as soon as you can look at everybody on an even keel, no matter what they look like, blah, 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 and you're speaking to them that way, then everybody moves up. Everybody moves up.
Absolutely.
So we want to say thank you, Anthony. Nice to see you, and hello. And oh my gosh, there's so much. Let's talk about dead animals.
Get into it. Well, you just decapitated them, so now they're dead.
Decapitated a belief, so now we've got something new. I have, as we're going along through this awakening process, things get easier and easier, and your manifestation times get shorter and shorter. And now we're to the point where I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, it's almost instantaneous, kind of as a test run, like dress rehearsal, right? So here I'm involved with all of my thoughts now, meaning that they don't generally run off on their own anymore without me being conscious of them. As I do that, I'm trying, I'm using that word intentionally, to specifically request things and to see how long it takes them to show up in the physical. Now, I'm talking about test things, like literally test things. Like, all right, so I said the other day, I haven't seen a possum ever around here in my neighborhood, right? So I go up on my walk the next day, come down on my walk on the way home back to my apartment, and there's a dead possum squashed in the middle of the road with the face, they have to have the dramatic face.
Yikes.
And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Really?
He just popped out of thin air when you manifested him, and there was the car didn't have time to get out of the way.
But I also need to now specify, like, it was kind of a little bit of a joke of like, yeah, you gotta be, if you're gonna bring this stuff into the physical, you better be bringing in what you want. You don't want dead animals. Specify. You want a live, thriving, beautiful animal to interact with, right?
Yeah.
So next day,
what's dead this time?
The squirrel right there, and the face on it. It was like it was. Now I want to point this out to those who are watching us laugh right now. We understand that not a single other person may see this thing that we're seeing.
Right.
Right. We understand
That's
that
why the car
no
hit it.
Squirrels and no. That too. Okay, that would go further down that rabbit hole, but since we're really living, we understand we're really living in a holographic world. We understand that these are holograms, and it isn't necessary that a possum.
It's just an idea. Yeah, it's just an idea in your head that you see in the physical.
Exactly. So no possums were hurt.
Let me tell you about dead things that are showing up for me.
Oh, and I have a fly one after you're done.
Oh, well, that works out perfect. So, symbolically, what always shows up for me with trauma and fear and dense negative beliefs are insects and mice, right? So I've talked about, like, gross, scary critters. And I've talked about this many times before, right? That cockroaches and bugs and bees and, like, gross things show up whenever I have fears and stuff that I have to go through at that time. Now, however, they're not alive. They're already dead, right? So it's like, it's almost like my guides are like, hey, congratulations, you killed a negative belief. You got rid of one. Now I just have carcasses for enormous creepy crawly things. There is this giant, I guess there were two, and they're right on my windowsill, as if someone placed them there gently, or they decided this is where I'd like to die. It's because they're like right out there on the windowsill, just dead as shit, and they're like an enormous, I guess, moth or something, and some other thing that I think flies, and I don't think any of the, like, contractors or people who are working, because it's in the room where they work. I was like, did they put them here? Why have they not, like, gotten rid of them? And then they, like,
maybe
put
because
something.
You're the only one that can see them.
Yeah, exactly. And they put something on top of it the other day, and I was like, why would you put something on top of it if you saw it there? And I'm a chicken, and I'm just, like, working up the nerve to throw it out because it's gross. But they put something on top of it the other day. I was like, they can't see it. They don't see this. It's just me seeing it. I see all of these dead insects, and there's a bunch up in my attic that I have to clean. But it's like, Yeah. So it's like, congratulations. And I'm like, all right, guys, I'm fucking over it. Pick another thing. Pick another thing.
Wait. I want to talk to you about that. What's the symbolism, honestly, of the dead part? Besides that you killed a belief, you know there's more than that, because you've always kind of had a little thing about coming to peace with all of Mother Nature's creatures. We'll put it that way.
It's true. I don't know. Maybe when I figure it out, it'll stop showing up dead. But do you have any ideas? Anybody? Anybody out there?
I always have ideas. I mean,
all right.
That's
what's your idea? Give me one.
Well, you don't like them.
Well, no, I don't like them.
Okay, so if they're going to show up, they'll probably show up dead because they know you don't like them. Here I am, dead.
Yeah, now I have to deal with their carcass.
Well, maybe that's part of it.
I don't want to. Go away.
Okay, well, you know you're guaranteed. You're a light worker. You're guaranteed a kitchen spider. Guaranteed. And I know your kitchen's not even done yet, and you're guaranteed one. So we're going to put this. Evelyn, I hope it's okay. I showed your beautiful comment. Thank you so much. And yes, you are listening to yourself, because we are you.
Yeah. Hi.
And we love you. And welcome. Is that a sloth on there?
I can't see it.
Is that Ice Age? Okay. Well, dead bugs, as far as I'm concerned, make me cry. Like, I can't stand to see a dead bug. But
I'd rather a dead one than a live one.
No, I'd rather a live one any day of the week. But so now I'm experimenting with energies, because I've relaxed my rules and I've allowed energies to come in that I normally wouldn't have allowed myself to see. So now they're hot dogging it. Right?
Right.
Hot dogging it, meaning, all right, can you see this? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And all of a sudden in front of me flies a fly right in front of me, and then poof, he disappears. I'm like, I don't know if I saw that. Maybe it was just my eye, whatever. Do it again. Poof. I'm like, all right, I saw that one. And then poof. I'm like, okay, I get it. But what he did was he made it look like a fly. And the reason that he did that is because it allows us to adjust in orientation to the fact that, okay, I've got a 3D explanation, I got a 5D explanation, and whatever frequency I'm at when I'm recognizing that, and my belief systems, do they allow it to be more than a fly?
Yeah.
Or, right? So I could have gone the fly route, and oh, my eyes are bothering me. Or I could have gone this is a really cool spirit route, and he wouldn't, this is crazy though, right? He wouldn't need the fly costume.
Right.
Right? And so I kind of took that in-between route where it was a fly that disappeared. So it's convoluted in a way because we're still getting rid of those old human rules. Flies don't disappear. Spirits can't make themselves look like flies, right? Or
silly humans.
It's all silly, right? But that's all of our training, our programming. Welcome to Earth. Evelyn, is okay if I put this on there? We're going to put up your question. She says, I have no problem with death, animals, or insects. I see it like a recycling time. So that is excellent. And, you know, circle of life, etc., etc.
I like that you're recycling it and not throwing it in the dumpster.
Well, I mean, you know, we know that the soil loves all of that, right? Anything that's going to be breaking back down, the insects will be benefiting again when they come back up as plants. But I was going to go in a completely different direction on that. I'm just going to stop there. We're going to talk about limits or lack thereof.
Kick the limits to the curb.
Kick the limit. Well, yes, but I want to talk about, and now for those who don't know, I stopped watching movies a long time ago. So all of my movie references are like from way long ago. But there are two movies that I was thinking of the other day that the team was like, you should give them a shout out because they were ahead of their time trying to let the collective see what it's like to not live limits. And the two were Elf and Michael, with the one with John Travolta, where he was the angel that came down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, and so both of those movies were they have an awful lot of magic in them, right? Obviously, because Michael he's been given the label of an angel, so we automatically assume that he's got more abilities than we do, right? And then he comes down and he like lives on sugar, right? Which for a human would be like, you can't do that. You're going to end up as a diabetic. And so his being able to just eat whatever the hell he wants was magical.
That is the kind of magic I want.
Exactly, because he didn't have those views, those ridiculous assumptions about sugar. Right. And the same thing with Buddy. Yeah. Elf, right? The spaghetti with the it was such a great, with the maple syrup and all that stuff. And same thing. I love to eat this, and damn it, I'm gonna eat it, and I don't care
makes me happy.
What you humans say. So that's just an example that I feel like a seed been planted.
Most Australian foods sound like that. Right?
Wait, what?
Australian foods. They just eat whatever weird shit that they want, like fairy bread. It's like butter bread with sprinkles. Like most of Australian food is just wild. And you're like, what? You do what? And they're like, this is the best thing ever. This is how we celebrate.
Okay, I'm all for that.
It's like a basic food that they're just like, this is fabulous, you know?
Oh, but that's not including Marmite though, right? Because that's not magic.
That's a totally different thing. But like,
Marmite's
they're just
disgusting.
They just have like simple foods that I think that they're just like, this is a special, awesome thing that's ours and we like it. And I just think that that's really cool.
So I'm going to throw something at you that I didn't tell you I was going to throw at you. Just because. Tell me what you think the symbolism is of this giant boat that's stuck in the Suez Canal.
Yeah, so I just was looking at this like an hour ago. Apparently why do they think it drew a penis and a butt before it got stuck?
Wait, what?
Like the pattern that it drew, I guess there's images of it, and it looks like a penis and a butt. And then it got stuck.
If that's not an art installation, I can't imagine what that would be. That's hysterical.
I think...
Okay.
So...
It's a crop circle.
Yes. A dick crop circle. Naughty ones. Okay, ET is like, you've been served, like, get more interest in crop circles. So I think it's going to probably spark some sort of huge change in the way, freight and shipping and that sort of industry works. Just like with the GameStop issue, right? It's a hilarious, silly thing that, like, people used GameStop to totally disrupt this long-held financial institution, the way we did things. It's silly. It's funny. This is the same thing. It drew a picture of a dick. That's what people are talking about. But it's also going to totally disrupt the way...
Commerce, yeah.
Yeah, commerce happens, and the way, because it was broken. And because we're on this really fun, awesome timeline that I'm helping create, it's not coming. These changes are not being initiated by some horrific event.
Yeah.
Like a war or, whatever, mass deaths or something like that, right? Like, it's silly. I mean, even COVID, which, yes, I know there have been deaths, but it's like, in the end, it wasn't as scary. People, like, stayed home, ran out of toilet paper, made banana bread, and, have to wear a piece of cloth on your face. Like, all in.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly. When you look back on it, right? Like, I think a lot of these changes that are coming are going to come in a really kind of humorous way that don't really that don't need some sort of horrific catalyst that maybe we have always thought, like, the end times are coming and, like, all these bad things are happening,
Well, yeah, because on your timeline, right? And so now I recognize I can jump between those timelines. That I'm loving the dark, as everybody knows. I got my Orion in me, and I do love to jump back at those other timelines, which would look to most people like the ones with the conspiracy theories, right? So now with the conspiracy theory theme running Earth, now this is like the most charged part of Earth. It's the major portal into Earth. Literally the widest portal. Just a little bit more than Tibet, if I recall.
This location where the Suez Canal is? Okay.
Yes, is basically the elevator onto Earth.
Okay.
Now, and it's also the elevator that the bad guys, whomever you're going to call them, the reptilians, the Illuminati, blah, 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 whatever you're going to label them, that's how they get in. Okay, so now if you're on that timeline, it's like, shit's going to happen. Right? This is the beginning. Look, the dick and the butt, we're getting fucked, man. Right? So, depending on where your focus is and what you're thinking about, you're going to see this situation in two very different manners.
Yeah.
Right?
See, I don't know. I don't really give a crap about the whole bad guys are bad and they're going to take over the world. Like, that's just not how I view it. And hey, I get it. Like, I've gone down a few rabbit holes because it's fun. It's fucking fun to, like, be like, oh my god, oh, these bad things are happening and then someone's going to come and save the world and blah blah blah. Like, I get it. I can dip my toe in, but that's just not where I live. You know what I mean? I live on oh my god, they drew a silly picture and thing got stuck, and that's going to disrupt the entire world, and nothing bad really happened. Right? I need shock and awe.
I love it.
I need a dick joke, and let's move on. They're like graffitied the portal. They graffitied the portal that bad guys, like, come onto the Earth plane on. What?
That's where the reptilian. That's how the Draco gets in.
Okay.
Through that portal, it's open. They've got their way in. Now,
well, aren't they red-faced? Oh, they're gonna come back and clean it up. Send the Draco clean up crew.
There are timelines where they're just, we recognize that they're playing the bad guy part. Yeah. We're playing I'm not even gonna say good guy part because I'm straddled in between. Because it's fun there. But they're all at the same freaking party. They're all at the same party. They're all drinking next to each other like, dude, that was badass.
Our higher selves are up there, like, slapping five and laughing their asses off.
And that's been a very big thing. My team has gotten larger and louder. Loud. Like, try this, do this, let's see what we can do here. Drew this, go here. And, it's not, you have to, it's, wouldn't this be fun? Because every time I listen to the damn thing, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even see that. Really?
Yeah.
Something that's been right in front of my face. That I'm like, oh, that idea, adding that into my field allows me to be like, oh man, look now what I can create with this new thing that I've seen and I filed as badass, as fun.
Yeah, and you allowed it to come in because you made space for it by getting rid of all that other
when I
crap.
started to trust the voices in my head, right? And you have to get rid of the crap.
Yeah,
like you said.
The belief that the voices in your head are anything but
Yourself.
and like the funnest parts of you.
Yeah, yeah. And so whether or not they give themselves names is entirely up to you, right? It's not up to them because, I mean, they don't care. They're balls of energy just as you are. But if you need a name for somebody on your team, give them a name.
Yeah. And a costume.
And a costume.
Putting them in loincloths and looking like a sexy man.
Dude, you have a rash. You have a rash of loincloth, guys.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I love my man in a loincloth and an ab.
Okay, then.
And in giant, like, fuzzy costumes also.
What?
Whatever. You know,
wait. No. You can't just gloss over that. What? Fuzzy costumes?
Like, sometimes they're a giant teddy bear. You know that. Sometimes they're a giant teddy bear. When I need a good bear hug, they'll come as a giant teddy bear. And sometimes...
Is this bear naked? Is it like a bear?
It's a teddy bear. When you need a bear hug, when I'm sad and I need a bear hug, they'll come...
Where's the loincloth come in there?
No.
Is it a teddy bear and a loincloth?
It's a different energy. There's a teddy bear energy and there's a sexy man in a loincloth. And then sometimes they come as Gritty, the Philadelphia mascot. I mean, Gritty's always a guide. I mean, if you need...
Not in a loincloth.
Oh, Gritty, recently he's been getting himself painted naked, so full naked.
Is he naked inside that thing? Like, you think he's like...
I don't like to think of him as anything,
as
as like a person. He's not a person, he's just Gritty.
There's definitely a person.
If you guys want joy, Gritty is the Philadelphia Flyers mascot. And he brings joy. He's just a ball of joy, and he makes me happy. Follow him on social media, and you'll see what I mean. But anyway, sometimes...
And you see him naked.
And sometimes... No, that's on social media. He's naked lately. He's been getting a lot of photography and art drawn of him naked. It's tasteful. It's tasteful. But so my guides will show themselves to me. They don't go with names, but they will show themselves to me in different forms depending on, you know, what I need at that time. Or sometimes just for fun.
So speaking of forms, that's good. My guides are not quite as, they're not naked. Okay, there's one. But most of my guides are just essence, meaning that they don't show up in the physical very often. And a lot of animals like to show up. And so, of course, now that I've specified live animals, I was walking and then poof, a ball of light just lights up right in front of me while I'm walking. And then poof, it changes into a bird.
Aw, I'm like, cute.
Oh, no, that was good. I'm like, that was good.
That's a fun trick.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. And better than a fly, right? That had to just disappear at the end.
You know I know it. I think it's better than a fly.
But what I'm saying, I may start out laughing. I'm just saying. I'm like, I'm thankful for the bird. I'm thankful for the bird. But in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, birds are cool, but can you make that a damn dragon? That would be badass, right? Like a little level
baby,
up there.
Little baby dragon.
Yeah, little baby dragon with the little, right? So I've asked for that. I'll report back on that one as soon as I can. All right, what else do we have? I want to ask you a question I didn't tell you about again.
There's a theme here.
Okay, wait. First of all, we have to thank Sophie, thank you. Fairy bread is a party staple. I literally have never tasted fairy bread. So
I'm pretty sure it's just white bread with butter and then they put sprinkles on top. So you
like
tasted it in
you
parts.
put on cupcakes?
Yeah. Like Jimmy's. If you're from Philadelphia, you know what a Jimmy is.
I know what a Jimmy is.
Yeah.
I am from Philadelphia, and I can't imagine. First of all, white bread to me, ow. But okay, and butter, okay, I'll do that. So the thing I want to talk to you about has nothing to do with that. Have you seen lately a preponderance of long distance bracelets and matching lamps?
I'm sorry, what?
Right? You don't, so no.
Matching lamps to bracelets.
So basically, because everyone's in a long distance relationship that had to be, like I have friends that one girl's in Japan and her boyfriend's like in, I don't know, I think he's in China now. But
So the girl gets a bracelet and the guy gets a lamp?
Right. And so what happens...
This is a thing?
This is a thing. And so what happens is when you're thinking about that person, you tap the bracelet and the lamp lights up.
Oh my God.
Okay,
that's adorable.
It's telepathy made into the physical.
I've heard of those things for like the vibrating underwear, and then the guy has like
Wait, what?
a remote. It's like vibrating underwear that the woman wears, and the guy has a remote so he can like turn it on whenever. But the lamp and the bracelet also adorable.
Okay, you still got me on the vibrating underwear, but we'll go back to the lamp.
It's like a vibrator, but it's built into your underwear. Or you put it in your underwear.
I can't see the technology there. I can't see how that...
It's like Wi-Fi enabled, and then if someone's in Japan with the remote, he can turn it on.
Do I really want someone in control of that? I mean, not that anybody but me is in control, but...
Well, you could take the underwear off. Like, I think it's a conscious choice to put it on knowing that someone else...
Okay, that's way better than a lamp. Right? Forget the bracelet. Forget the lamp. Just go straight for the underwear.
Kinky telepathy.
I mean, if you're going to bring telepathy into the physical, why not, right? Do it however you can. All of this is just helping people start from the physical and get used to it. Just the same as disclosure of extraterrestrials, basically, right? You just start seeing it everywhere and you're so used to it by the time it happens, it's no big deal.
So, I have a little story.
Good.
So I was visiting my girlfriend a month and a half ago, and she's seeing this guy. And we were hanging out with friends during the day, and then afterwards we like went back to her house and we were hanging out. And he, is not into anything spiritual at all, right? Totally like a straight-laced dude. And I was telling him, how I do, I'm an astrologer. And he was like, oh my God, really? Well, read my chart. Tell me everything. Like, he just, like, was eating it up. And I was going through his chart and telling him stuff. And he was like, yes. Yeah. He was, like, amazing. He's like, oh, my God, can you, like, do you, like, tell me my future? Like, can you pull cards? And I was like, well, he didn't say pull cards, whatever he said. But you know what I mean. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that for you. I'm like, I'm not as good as that. But let me I'll pull some cards for you, and you just ask a question. You don't even like tell me what it is, right? You just ask a question, and I'll pull the cards and I'll answer whatever I think it comes out. So it doesn't seem like I'm making it up. You know what I mean? And so I was answering his question and whatever, and he's like, "This is amazing," and I was like, "Oh no, this is just telepathy." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "This is just telepathy." Yeah, I was like, this is how it works. It sounds like it's something crazy, but I'm like, we just all do it, and we don't know what it is, but this is what telepathy is. And my girlfriend was like, yep, pretty much. You guys are just communicating with your mind.
It's good that you broke it down that way, because you're using normal language without all the weird-ass jargon, right? Yeah. And you didn't have a white tunic on, probably, right?
I did not, no.
No, I know you better than that. But so what you did was you're like, this is totally normal, because inside of him, he was waiting for the right person to come along and offer it, right? Just waiting to be comfortable for that situation to be like, I feel safe here. I can ask her questions. As soon as that happens, pow! That man is in for a wild ride from here on in.
Right, yeah. So it was a really fun little thing just see him, like, so excited about it, into it, because you can tell, like, he's never been around someone who was, like, into it, right?
Yeah, well, you just said that, and I just pulled out my tarot cards. Woo. So while we're talking, I haven't used tarot cards in probably a year. I put all the cards away because I started to give them way too much credence. And I recognized, I'm like, yeah, girl, you're the one that's sending yourself the card, but start asking yourself questions instead of asking the cards questions all the time.
Yeah, I think, exactly. And I've kind of been the same way. And I think I always used to, give it more of a negative spin than it really needed to be.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And then you start, like, it would, because if you pull, in the morning for your day, then it kind of, like, changes your mood. You get, like, a tower card, whereas, like, the team is like, yay, good news, right?
Right,
like
and the tower card, because we've made that association.
Right, you're like, oh my God, it's going to be a rough-ass day. And then, like, nothing bad actually really happens in the day, and then you start to, like, not trust it. But in reality, like, you give it whatever symbolism you're ready to give it. So
I like your day better, because whenever I pulled the tower card, I had every crisis there could be. So I would say one thing here, even though we're not going to pull a big reading. I'm just going to pull one card and see what we get. But I want to tell everyone here that I don't do any of my cards reversed. I think that the tarot already is on the negative side. And so because of that, I use them upright.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I kind of made up my own meaning with the reversed, because a lot of times I would get the cards maybe in the beginning of the week upright, and then by the end of the week they would be reversed or opposite, and then it's be like, oh, okay, I checked that off, whatever that box was. So, I mean, whatever you're doing, you get to give whatever it is your own symbolism, right? Because because I made that up in my head, like, oh, I checked that box off. Okay.
Right, well, when you start out, what do we got? Not the tower, but close. It's the devil. My favorite is a naked guy and a naked girl, and they're stuck. Okay, here's a great example of, here's the devil, and somebody has told us that the devil means that you're stuck. You're chained, you got no way out. There's a big-ass oppressor here, and he's got
control.
Horns, right? And so now you pull this in the morning, and you're like, shit. Now my day's gonna suck.
Maybe it means that girl's got some vibrator underwear and that guy's controlling it with a remote control.
With the chain, right? Wait, to bring it up here, it could happen.
That's just like a kinky fun thing that they like to do with their friend the devil. It's a three-way.
It's a three-way, but
there was a recent SNL skit with the Grinch, and like he comes down in the morning with mom and dad, and they like had a three-way the night before. It was hilarious.
Wait, ew, what?
But that's what it reminds me of. Like the Grinch comes down, in the morning with mom and dad, and the kids were like, Mommy and Dad, you guys were very loud last night. Did Mr. Grinch stay over? And they're like, oh, yeah. Where did he sleep? But anyway, that's what this makes me think of with the kinky couple and the devil. It's like the Grinch. They just had a naughty
Grinch's
three-way.
heart grew larger.
Something grew larger. Obviously, they made that joke.
Yeah. But as a kid, you're just supposed to recognize that he grew from his experience. So,
sure. Yeah.
Well, I have so many other things to say. I'm going to say one more quick thing, and then it's something funny about how we sometimes think things in our heads, put them behind in the back of our head, and forget that we're actually still sending them out. And my example is about my car. Her name is Harmony. She's a 10-year-old Porsche. I love her dearly. She runs beautifully. She's gorgeous. She has no scratches. She has no dents.
It's very beautiful.
Lovely car. And if you're a Porsche owner, Porsche sends you emails, videos, tickets, everything. Please come drive the newest Porsche because we want you to buy a new one and get rid of that old one, right? And sell it to us too because we can still make a profit from your old Porsche. So I'm like, no, why is this coming to me? Why is this coming to me? I love my car. I love my car. And then in the back of my head, there's a little thing like, well, have you ever doubted or seen a color on one of the new ones? You're like, damn, I kind of wish she was that color. Or, oh, maybe anything. Maybe this new feature would be really cool to have. And then I'd go back and say, no, I love my car. And what I was basically doing was just yanking myself in both directions. So I get an email from Porsche and they say, we're very sorry. We sent you a mailing, but there was a mistake on the address. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, days go by. I open up my mail and there's this gigantic bound book, literally hardbound book from Porsche with, of course, all the new models in it. And it was sent to my address, but it had a different woman's name on it. Like a
Kimberly Derwin?
No, like completely different, like
okay.
Felicia somebody, right? And I'm like, okay, now we know from a 3D perspective, they had a problem with their mail merge, right? And they sent out stuff and they recognized it and told everybody we're sorry. But on another level, what the fuck was that? Right? Right?
Why did I send myself this book?
Why did I send myself the book? But also, why did I send it to some other person? Right? And so here, when we're dealing with timelines and stuff, we're looking, I have to ask myself, why would I bring that experience to me? Because now here, the universe is like, look, we bound this book for you just in case you want to go look at new Porsches, and we know you love your car. And B, what's your relationship with this person, this other person? Is she another you, another probable you? Is she whatever? So there's always somewhere to dig when all of these random things come up. And I would always say dig on the side of levity, right? You don't need to it's not a crisis. It's something fun.
Yeah.
Right? Make it fun. Make it all fun because we're here for joy. We're here for love. We're here to serve each other and party a lot.
Yeah.
Laugh and eat. What is it? Fairy bread?
Yeah.
Fairy bread. And I don't know. I think it's a good world. I love the world that I'm in. We have, I've spoken with my homeless people now on a higher level. And so now they're showing me that they can read my thoughts. Literally sitting there, rattling off one sentence that includes every single thing I was thinking about that day.
They're also way cooler than I will ever be.
The way they dress and stuff. I mean, these are the people I want at my party.
Yeah.
Right? These are the people I want at my party. I want the weirdos. I want the ones that are not afraid to go out and wear all white and carry a poodle purse, right? Yes. Like that woman did. And those are the people I want in my world because all of us want to see everybody thrive, including squirrels and possums and flies. And we want to still have fun while we're creating. Like what Seth calls responsible fun. So that's where we are on our timeline, friends. And you are all welcome to be there with us. And all you got to do is tap in, baby. Have fun and let yourself kind of follow that flow. And
That's right. We send out the invitations. Just got to
Yeah.
open them. Just RSVP. Party time.
it's really amazing how all those people that you're dealing with every day, you can speak to them on the highest level that you know how to, and you're going to see a completely different person sometimes. It's really neat. So,
Absolutely. 100%. Just allow people to
100%.
be something more than you've ever thought of them.
Yeah, that's a whole episode on its own right there. All right, well, until next time, I want to say we love you all. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for joining.
And we really, really love you. And we will do this more often, we promise. So until next time, cheers!
Cheers!